Hey YouTube, this is Yellow Black. I'm making this video series to show you my strategies I use to beat the hologram bosses in Wuthering Waves. Right now we have 4 hologram boss fights in the game. We got Impermanence Heron, Morning Ikes, the saddest angel, Phalian Barangol of the planet of the Wind Apes, and the bane of my existence, Tempest Memphis. I knew I wanted to create some kind of content for this game because I love it, but I didn't know what kind of content I should try to create. Hopefully this video is a step in the right direction. I appreciate you checking out my little project, and as always, don't forget to... Alright, so I'm gonna start off by showing you all some of my favorite resonators. Verena, Jianshin, Alto, Mortifi, Chisha, and a couple more. But keep in mind that these are just the characters that I use to do the fights. You can use whatever characters you like. The only thing I can say is, I guess, just don't fight the fire enemy with the guy that uses fire, and don't fight the ice enemy with the guy that uses ice, or you'll look and feel extra dumb. My echoes could be better, but they could also be worse. They're alright. I'll just take a little bit to scroll through them so you can somewhat see what I'm working with. Oh yeah, when I opened the standard weapon prize box at Adventure Rank at Union level 45, I got the guns because a lot of my favorite characters use guns and I desperately needed crit rate. I want to eventually get crit rate weapons for all my characters, but apparently they come few and far in between. There's a couple on the battle pass, but I don't know where else to get the other ones besides the gacha. Alright, starting off, Impermanence Heron will yell into your ears and then it'll immediately go into a swipe with his wings. It's 2 hits. And after that, it has a move where it flies up into the air and tries an AoE body slam. Next, it has a move where it'll jump away from you and then try to absorb you toward it. The move comes out in a giant conal AoE in front of it. When it finally gets you close enough to it, it'll start attacking you with its heads. 3 regular attacks, and then 1 big finisher slam. It also has a 3-fold wing attack. You can use 3 well-timed dodges to avoid this, and be sure to weave in your dodge autos whenever you can, because they do a lot of damage. There are some situations where you can even get behind it when it tries to pull you in with a cone. And if that happens, you can just wail on it until it's done with that animation. FYI, you can finish most of these fights about 10 levels below the recommended level. Provided, of course, that you have decent echoes and weapons. The only thing that I would advise against is you trying to fight something 20 levels above you, because you don't do the damage and you don't have the numbers, unless you're like a mega whale or something, I don't know. Next, it'll fly up into the air and then rain down feathers that explode and AoEs around you. It might look confusing at first, but if you notice the pattern of circles, you can find an easy escape route because the circles have a delayed explosion. Next, it'll stick its head in the ground and charge the area around it for a huge AoE attack. You can either escape the area completely, as it takes a while to charge up, or you can do a well-timed dodge right after you see the ring of fire around the edge turn red. Beautiful. Alright, next is a move that will catch you off guard if you're not ready for it. If at any point it's just standing still, it can just turn around and backslap the right out of you. You need to always be ready to dodge this, especially if you're playing a melee character, because this will instantly kill you.
Can't touch me!
But if you dodge it successfully, it turns shy and it can't talk to you anymore. Alright, at level 55 things get a little different. It gets an attack boost, an HP boost, and it gets more moves. I recommend that you do the later stages of this boss with ranged characters because it does a lot of repositioning and flying around and a whole bunch of annoying shit like that. At least your DPS won't go down to 0 while it's swooping and diving and swirling and twisting in the air and shit. So Mortefi was one of the characters that really attracted me to this game. I feel like if you build him properly, his burst damage can go through the roof. This next new move has it fly up into the air and then throw a spray of feathers directly at you. After that, it's followed up by a swooping attack that can be parried, but I just like to shoot at this enemy.
Too late.
Also, on a side note, one interesting thing I found out is that Baja's dodge isn't like everybody else's. Baja's dodge doesn't slow down time, but it feels like she gets more invincibility frames than a lot of the other characters. I feel like that makes it easier to dodge auto with her. So she's definitely the next character I'm going to fully raise. Next up is 3 consecutive swooping attacks, all targeted at you. Very telegraphed, very easy to parry, but it will kill you if one of them hits you, if you're equal to or lower level than it is.
Not quite. Bad boy.
When Impermanence Heron gets to level 60, it gets an attack boost and an HP boost, but it doesn't get any new moves. So all you have to do is just make sure your team is strong enough to fight it. It also looks like it might move a little faster too, but I'm not sure. Also, take note that by now we're getting into one-shot, one-kill territory, so anything that hits you will kill your character. Especially if you wanted to fight this fight at level 50 like I did instead of level 60. Alright, so here's the thing. Levels 90, 80, and 70 all have the same attack and HP boost, but there's only about 2 new moves between them, so I'll just condense that. One maneuver is once you get its shield, its vibration, to a critically low state, it'll go into a defensive stance and try to recover itself. It only takes a few seconds to recover, and if you let it get up, it'll feel rejuvenated and refreshed, and you'll feel abused and taken advantage of. So make sure you try to save one of your intros or outros, so when you see it enter this defensive stance, you can swap and then do a big burst of vibration damage. Suddenly it remembers it can breathe its really crazy ass looking purple fire. It'll jump up into the air and then proceed to roast everything in front of it. You can dodge this attack like I did with Alto's clone and taunt it, or you can time it just right and run under it so when it starts shooting fire, it won't be able to track you. I haven't beaten level 90 yet because I simply don't have the damage to take it down, but I have seen that it only has one new maneuver worth mentioning. Whenever it does a move that has it do a body slam or a crash down effect or something like that, it'll be followed up by those feathers that cause the AoE explosions around you. Just dodge the initial attack and then dodge the subsequent feathers to avoid it. Also, sometimes when it jumps back and tries to absorb you with a cone attack, it might position itself near the side of the arena, and apparently it's sort of elevated, which makes the attack completely miss you if you're standing in the right spot. Just don't walk directly up to it. Unless, of course, your favorite character is melee, then, you know. Alright, congratulations, you did it. You got all the way to the end of this video. This was my very first try at editing videos. I gotta say I had a lot of fun with it. Thanks for watching and let me know if I should do more down in the comments.